Well, good morning once again. This is Mr. Jones with The Cricket in Times Square by George Selden, and it is chapter 6. So far, we know that there's a boy named Mario who sells newspapers at a newspaper stand, and Chester the Cricket, and Tucker Mouse, and Harry the Cat. We met Mr. Smedley yesterday, the music teacher, and he was amazed at Chester the Cricket's musical ability that he has. And it'll be interesting to see how the author uses Mr. Smedley, the character, later on in the story to make a really, really cool adventure. Well, today we're going to meet a new character. His name is Sai Fong. S-A-I. Fong is F-O-N-G. He is Chinese. And remember now, Mario is going to New York City to a neighborhood called Chinatown to try to find a cage for Chester where he can have like a little house instead of just the matchbox. So this is chapter 6, Sai Fong. I hope you enjoy it. Mario took the local subway station and the train downtown. He held the matchbox up at the level of his chest when he was on the train so the cricket could see outside the window. This was the first time Chester had been able to watch where he was going on the subway, because remember how Chester got to New York City in the first place from, remember his home state? Right, Connecticut. How he got there was on the train going to New York City, but he was squished under what kind of sandwich? Yes, a roast beef sandwich. Very good. Inside a picnic basket. So he couldn't see out the window very well, but now Mario's giving him the chance to see. Mario's a kind boy. Like you boys and girls are very kind. The last time Chester had been buried under roast beef sandwiches, it says. He hung out of the box, gazing up and down the train car. Chester was a curious cricket. Curious means you want to know a lot about different things. That's how you learn. What are you curious about? Very good. There are a lot of things in the world to be curious about and to learn about. Gazing up and down the train car, Chester was a curious cricket, and as long as he was here in New York, he meant to see as much as he could. He was staring at an old lady wearing a straw hat, wondering if the flowers on top of the hat were real or plastic. He couldn't tell. And if they were what they would taste like. When the train lurched to a halt, boing, and it stopped. Like most people who ride subway trains, Chester wasn't used to these quick stops. He toppled out of the matchbox into Mario's lap. The boy picked him up again. Hey, buddy, you got to be careful, Mario said to the cricket, putting his finger over the open end of the box so there was just enough room for Chester to poke his head out. At the Canal Street stop, Mario got off and walked several blocks to Chinatown. Remember, that's where a lot of Chinese people live, right there. Chester craned his head out as far as he could to get his first look at New York in the daytime. He was like, ooh, like trying to see out of his matchbox, craning his head. In Chinatown, as Papa had said, all the shops were closed. Mario walked up and down the narrow, curving streets, zigzagging across them so he could look in the windows on both sides. In some, he saw the cardboard shells that open up into beautiful paper flowers if you put them in a glass of water. And in other windows, he saw the glass wind harps that tinkle when they're hung in the window, where the breeze can catch them. But he couldn't find a cricket cage anywhere in any of the windows of the shops. Down at the end of an alley, there was an especially old shop. The paint was peeling off the doors, and the windows were crammed with years and years' collection of little knickknacks. Knickknacks are little toys and little statues and figurines. A sign hanging out in front said, Sai Fong Chinese Novelties. And printed underneath in smaller letters was, we also do laundry by hand, which means they wash your clothes in a sink instead of using a machine or something. Sitting cross-legged on the doorstep was an old Chinese man. He was wearing a silk vest over his shirt with dragons sewed on it in red thread, and he was smoking a long white clay pipe. Mario stopped and looked in the shop window. The old Chinese man didn't turn his head, but he looked slyly at the boy out of the corner of his eye like this. Practice that. Ah, there you are. Very good. I love it. Slowly, the man drew the pipe out of his mouth and blew a puff of smoke into the air. Are you Mr. Fong? Asked Mario. The man smoothly twisted his head as if it were a pivot and looked at Mario. I, Sai Fong, he answered. His voice sounded strange, kind of musical, like a plucked violin string. Sai Fong had come from China many years ago, and he had a curious way of talking. But Mario liked it very much. He enjoyed the individual chirps of human beings almost as much as the chirp of his cricket. I would like to buy a cricket cage if you have any, Mario asked politely. Sai Fong put the pipe back in his mouth and took a few puffs. His eyes became even narrower than they had been before. Can you make your eyes narrow? Yeah, like that. And then big, and then narrow. Sai Fong said, You got cricket? Cricket is his way of saying cricket, but he can't say the R sound very well. Practice that. You got cricket? Very good. You could be a good actor. Yes, said Mario. Here he is. Mario opened up the matchbox and showed Sai Fong Chester, the cricket. Chester and Sai Fong looked at each other. Oh, very good, very good, said Sai Fong joyously. I love cricket. You got cricket. Very good, very good. He was laughing delightedly. Practice that. Mario was startled by Sai Fong's quick change. I want to buy him a house, he said. My cricket needs a house. Do you have one for him? That would be just right. Come in shop, please, said Sai Fong. Well, when Sai Fong needed an L sound, he said R, and when he needed an R sound, he said L. Like in please. Say please, and then say please. Good. That's the way Sai Fong talked. I don't know. Both of them went in the shop. Mario had never seen such a cluttered room. The word cluttered means a lot of stuff was everywhere, kind of like some kids' bedrooms, and mine once in a while. See my closet behind me with all the clutter? And my dad's painting right there of a matador with a bull. I have a lot of clutter in this closet, but it's good clutter. Well, everything from silk robes to chopsticks to packages of hand laundry littered the shelves and chairs, and there was a faint, sweet smell of incense in the air. That's like perfume almost. You sit down, please, said Sai Fong, motioning to a chair in the corner. I back soon. I come back soon. I be right back. And he disappeared through a door at the back of the shop, shuffling his feet as he went. Mario sat very quietly. In a few minutes, Sai Fong came back into the room, carrying a cricket cage in the shape of a pagoda. And a pagoda is a roof that's shaped like that, curved on top of a Chinese house. There are 7 layers of that cage, each one a little smaller than the one below, and it ended in a spire or a pointy part on the top. It was painted red and green, but the spire was painted gold. At one side was a gate with a tiny latch on the side of the cage. Mario wanted to own that cage so much that he tingled all over. He thought to himself, this will be perfect for my Chester. But it looked awfully expensive. Sai Fong held up the first finger of his right hand and said very solemnly, This is a very ancient cricket cage. Ancient means super, super old, older than Sai Fong. And here's a picture of Sai Fong right here to give you an idea of what he looks like. See him smoking his long pipe? He looks pretty old, doesn't he? And there's Mario with Chester down there, and there's the cricket cage in front of Mario. And that's shaped like a pagoda, or a Chinese temple. They call it their church. And see all the clutter inside Sai Fong's shop? Those lanterns hanging up above there? Those are called lights. They're Chinese lanterns. And they put them out at nighttime. Sai Fong is an interesting character, to say the least. Mario wanted to ask him how much the cage cost. How much do you think that cage would be? Let me show you the picture again. A little up close. And there is What do you think? It's painted with gold on the top and red and green on the sides. And it has 7 tiers or floors. All right. That's a pretty good guess about how much money it costs. Speaking of money, let me show you our coins of America that we have right after I tell you how much Mario's cage is going to be. If you said something like dollars, go a little lower. How much is the cage? Asked Mario.
It costs 15 cents.
Did you say 50? Said Mario.
No, 15, 1 5. You get 1 nickel. It look like this. A nickel on the back.
So a nickel is worth 5 cents, right? And you've seen that. That's the Washington Monument right there. And then this right here.
And 1 dime.
There's the dime on the back. Upside down, of course. There we go. So that's our money. And of course, you know, a dime is worth 10 cents. A nickel is worth 5. So it was worth 15 cents. Here's a penny. That's worth how many cents? 1, correct. And how much is our quarter worth with George Washington? 25 cents, right. And here's a $1 coin. And one of our students in our class had a $1 coin a while back too.
It costs 15 cents.
Mario sighed and he got out a nickel and a dime. He's like, whew, I thought it was going to be expensive, to himself. I'll take it, Mr. Fong. It's a deal. And he handed Sai Fong the money, a nickel and a dime. That was quite a deal Mario got.
I also give free present, said Sai Fong. A free present.
And he went behind the counter and took a little bell, no bigger than a honeybee, and with a piece of thread he tied it and hung it up inside the cage.
This little bell for Cricket to play with, okay? It's very, very nice bell. He gonna like it a lot.
Sounds like the little bell in Silver Temple, far off in Yangtze River, Sai Fong said.
The Yangtze River is in China. Yangtze River.
Mario thanked him for the bell and the story and everything. And as he was about to leave the shop, Sai Fong said,
Don't leave so fast. You want a fortune cookie, right? They say fortune cookie always wrong, but that's not true. Fortune cookie, it has a little paper inside and tell you your future. Would you like to know it? Said Sai Fong.
I guess so, said Mario. I never had a fortune cookie before. Sai Fong took down a can from the shelf. It was full of fortune cookies from China. Thin wafers that had been folded so there was an airspace in each one. Mario bit into the cookie and he found a skinny, thin, long piece of paper inside it. He read what it said out loud. The paper said, "Good luck is coming your way, so be ready." And we always have to be ready. We never know what God is going to bring our way, so we have to pray and be ready, right? And check this out.
Ha ha ha! Sai Fong laughed. Very good, fortune cookie. You go now. Always be ready for happiness and to give happiness to others. Oh, goodbye. Sayonara. Sayonara.
Say that. Sayonara. Sayonara. There you go. Sayonara. That's how you say goodbye in Chinese.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
And with that, it's the end of chapter 6. And we'll do chapter 7 tomorrow called The Cricket Cage. And for now, we say,
Sayonara. Sayonara.
God bless and take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in.